Friends, at this time I ask that before Rabbi begins the service, if you have a cell phone or pager on possession, please turn it off and place it in the vibration. Thank you.
My friends, Jewish law and tradition mandates that when we find ourselves upon cemetery grounds, we are to recite the following bracha, the following blessing, and of course, this bracha, this blessing, is addressed to Hashem, is addressed to God, but in connection with all those who are buried or interred upon these grounds. Yershus, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech Haolam, Asher Yotzar Eschem Badim, L'zon Yekilkel Eschem Badim, V'hemes Eschem Badim, V'yodea Misparkuchem Badim, V'osiv V'hachiyoschem, V'lekayim Eschem Badim, Baruch Atah Adonai, V'chayei Hamesim, Atah Gibor V'yolam Adonai, V'chayim Hamesim Atorah V'shiyah, Mashiv HaRuach, U'morin HaGeshem, V'chalkel Chayim B'chesed, V'chayim Mesim B'rachamim Rabim, Someich Noflim, Rofei Tolim Matirasurim, V'chayim Emunah L'Shenei Afor, V'yipamocha Ba'al Gevuros, U'midom Eloch, Melech Nemes U'machayei, U'matzliach Yeshua. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who fashioned you with justice, who nourished and sustained you with justice, who took your lives, caused you to die, to pass on with justice, who knows the sum total of you all in justice, and who will yet restore you back to life, resuscitate and resurrect you back to life with justice. Blessed are you, O Lord, who revives the dead. Hashem nosan v'Hashem lokach, Yehi Shem Hashem mivorach. Hashem, the Lord, has given, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be blessed. Thus the dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit and the soul returns to God who gave it. We now call upon Rabbi Yaakov Shulman.
David here in Psalm 121 says, a song of ascents. I lift my eyes to the mountains, where shall come my help? My help is from God, creator of heaven and earth. You will not let your foot falter, nor will your guardian stumble or sleep. Behold, neither sleep nor slumber does the guardian of Israel. God watches you. He is your shadow upon your right side. The sun by day will not hit you, nor moonlight by night. God will protect you from all evil, protect your soul. God will protect coming and going out. Also a reference to Napoleon, parents. Parents are like a mountain, refuge, safety, protection for the child, bringing that child up to autonomy. And we gather today to remember and pay our last respects to Sarah Adel Baz David Tzvi Alav Shalom, in the 95th year of life. Week which we read Ani Hashem, which I would say, see from your passion, that God tells the very first Jew, I am God who took you out of the fire of Asdim, the furnace. Sarah Fruhman was saved from fires that consumed Am Yisrael, the great fire of the Holocaust. She his late husband was spared, create a new world, a new family. Avraham Avinu was blessed with children after the faith that he had in the Baruch Hu, the Creator. So too, you remember Sarah Fruhman having created once again, coming out with her faith for Emunah intact and building a new family in Am Yisrael. His legacy lives on. May its memory be for blessing.
Amen.
Yisrael the David Adonai Rohi Lo Efsar. Because then Nafshi Yishovei Yankeini V'man Bleit Tzedek V'man Shemel Ran Kievei V'geit Salmoves Lo Yirah V'atoy Modi Shiftecho Mishantecho Hey V'yinachamuni Karo V'chom HaShulchan Nevet Solaroi Shachom HaKemen Yoshi Kosi Revoya October Chesed Yidufuni Kodimei Chayoy Shafti V'Veis Adonai the O.S. Robin, a psalm, a song of King David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be found wanting. God causes me to lush pastures, God leads me beside tranquil waters, God restores my soul and guides me in righteous paths for God's name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod, your scepter, and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries who have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. My friends, I would like to share with you a selection taken from the final chapter of the Sefer Mishlei, the biblical book of Proverbs, authored by the wisest of all men, our own King Solomon. Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, dedicated the final chapter, the closing verses of his Sefer Mishlei, of his book of Proverbs, in honor of his mother, Queen Bathsheba, wife of his father, King David. And Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, writes of his mother as follows: Eishes chayu mi'imtzo, v'rocho b'pninim nichlo, v'otach bo le'balo, v'otach lo yachzor, v'lasu tov v'lo ro, kol yemei chayeho, v'tokom b'yod lailo, v'tiken keref l'veso, v'toch v'naroseho. Tov v'yos mosteho, but the Ametz Rosel, the Amakito Safo, will Yichve Balaylo Neiro, Papa Posolioni, Yodel Shilkol Evion, Mavide Mosa Solo, Sheish, the Agomon Lavusha, Oz the Hodolovosh Lavusha, Batisaf Leon Maharon, Kihaposka Vapachno, the Soras Tesser Alushona. Sophia Halichos Pensa, Olechem Atzlus Lo Sofer, Kamu Vaneho Vayashruho, Malo Vayahalulo, Rabbis Bonus Osofoyu, the At Olis Al Kulono, Shechahachein Vehemala Yofi, Isha Yaras Adonai Hi Tishalo, Tulom Hipiyadeho, Yalua Mashor Maseho. This heartfelt praise of a virtuous woman, a woman of valor, accomplishment, an upright woman, Aisha's Kyle, a gallant woman, a woman of accomplishment and strength who can find far beyond pearls is her value. Her husband's heartfelt trust relies upon her, as well as her family, and he and they shall lack for nothing. She bestows good and never harm all the days of her life. She spreads out her palm to the poor and extends her hands to the destitute. She is clothed in strength and dignity and cheerfully faces whatever may come. She fears not the day of death. She faces it without fear because she knows she has done her best throughout her life, and that is all anyone can be expected to do. Her mouth is opened with wisdom. Her tongue is guided by kindness. She oversees the ways of her household and partakes not of the bread of laziness. Her children, her family arise and praise her. Her husband, he too sings her praises, saying, many daughters have accomplished well, but you surpass them all. Grace is false, and beauty is vain. But a woman in awe of God, she should be praised. Give her the fruits and accomplishments of her own. And wherever people gather, let her deeds speak her praise. As a member of Congregation Tiferet Israel myself, and as a colleague of its Rav, Rabbi Aaron Cohn, I am here representing Rabbi Cohn, who was unable to officiate today due to his status as a Kohen. We are filled with a sense of sadness at the loss of Mrs. Sarah Fruhman, Sarah, the daughter of David Tzvi and Kaya, and we all share in the sense of emptiness that has been evoked by her passing. This gathering here today in her memory is a reflection of the sincere love and respect, affection, and admiration felt by all of us toward her. Her passing has deeply affected all who have had the privilege of sharing a portion of the 95 years her life on earth has spanned. 44 of those years shared in loyalty, devotion, and true partnership with her husband Joseph, who has gone before her and whom we also remember this day, and with whom she is now reunited. Sarah Fruhman's legacy and accomplishments in life are reflected by those whom she has left behind. Her children, David and Friedel, Harriet and Mel, Harry and Jeanette. Her grandchildren, Stacy and Yitzchak, Gary and Sarah, Jonathan, Adina and Aram, Sharona and Aryeh, Moshe and Tommy, Batya, Yosef, Toby, and Be'ezras Hashem, her 22 great-grandchildren, Bolei and Hara. We remember Sarah Fruhman as a dear wife, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, dear friend, and as the matriarch of her family. And together with her husband Joseph, pillars of our congregation, Congregation Tiferet Israel of Passaic. With the passing of Mrs. Sarah Fruhman, we are witness to the end of an entire era, an era that will not ever be repeated. We recall Sarah Fruhman as a woman of deep, abiding, inner strength. She herself would be very surprised to hear herself described in such a manner. She would easily describe herself as just the opposite, that she was not strong at all, but she was without a doubt one of the strongest people we knew. She adamantly insisted that her children do and be the very best they could be, and she would not take no for an answer. And at the same time, her love for them was always self-evident. At the Fruhman home in Passaic, It was always open house, no matter who you were. When you entered, she insisted that you have what to eat, as if the word what was a noun. And she would also not take no for an answer then either. Mrs. Sarah Fruhman was unpretentious. She was free from any ostentation or showy display. She was the epitome of the expression, what you see is what you get. She was a woman of not just deep religion, but truly spiritual faith. When her husband left for work early, very early each morning, she was always there by the kitchen window, looking out and davening and reciting each word of the morning prayers of the tefillos out loud. You could learn how to daven properly by just being present with her in her kitchen each morning. And for Sarah Fruhman, as a survivor of the Holocaust, and as the sole survivor of her family, her husband, her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren were not just her number one priority in life, they were her only priority in life. And that in itself, was also where she found her greatest satisfaction, accomplishment, happiness, and wealth in life. As we are taught in Pirkei Avos, Ben Zoma Omer, Ezehu Ashir, Hasomeach V'chelko. Who is truly wealthy? Someone who is not only happy, content, satisfied with whatever they have been given as their portion in life, but is someach, but has simcha, has joy with and in whatever that life's portion may be. Actually, some people are so poor, all they have is money. And in this manner, Sarah Fruhman was truly a very, very wealthy woman. There is unquestionably a void and an emptiness that has been caused by her passing. We now call upon Harry.
Yaakov, in World War II in the concentration camps. Mother is the sole survivor. And we built her life and her family. Both the words of Ashes and Chayil in all of their senses were truly applicable. From my earliest years, I remember Mommy standing in the kitchen window every morning between 4:15 and 4:35. She had to be finished enough time to prepare breakfast for Daddy. I remember Mommy watching out the back window as Daddy pulls the car out of the garage and running to the front of the house. Make sure he got out of the driveway safely. I remember asking her for a penny for a piece of gum and being told that there weren't any pennies available today. I remember Mommy touching me and sitting there to calm me and explain why I got it. Sometimes after much thought, it was a down payment for next time. I remember Mommy always having a mini breakfast every Sunday morning to whichever of my parents' survivor peer group would walk in. I remember her homemade cookies, cheesecake, apple pie, all packed in little plastic bags for storage and portion control. I remember Mommy ripping up my homework 2 to 3 times in one night because it wasn't good and the paper was creased. I remember learning how to play accordion and Mommy having both the skills of playing and reading music better than mine because she already went through and Harriet's musical training. I remember being told that I had to take a nap on Shabbos afternoon because that's what the men did. I remember bringing home a test for the 98th grade and being asked by her where the other 2 points were. I remember not having any grandparents and how my parents tried to compensate. I remember Mommy serving Daddy dinner separately so he could relax after working all day in the machine shop. I remember never missing a salute to Israel Day parade, going with her into the city by bus, notwithstanding her poor sense of direction. We always did get there. I remember the pride that my parents had when I pulled off my bar mitzvah davening in Laney. I remember the annual Thanksgiving event that she prepared with a menu of garlic bread, chopped liver, Swedish meatballs, vegetable soup thick enough to make your spoon stand up, a roast, numerous side dishes and salads for between 10 and 25 people, with the guest of honor, Tommy Turkey, always being perfectly cooked for Daddy to carve. Of course, every meal began with l'chaim and ended with her famous Napoleons. I remember the concern Mommy had when I was sent to live in the dorm for high school. I remember Mommy not going to work until I moved into the dorm because if I were to be home, she had to be there too. She held a bank job for 28 years. I remember when he had bypass surgery in 1980 and Mommy made it clear that if he were to need blood, it would be only hers because she had the best blood for him. I remember Mommy asking me about my dates and never being satisfied by the lack of success. When I finally got there, she was ultimately very happy with and loved Jeanette as a daughter. Conversely, Jeanette loved and respected Mommy as any daughter could. I remember how Mommy and Gabby developed their own unique and special relationship right out of the gate, and that stayed intact through Mommy's lifetime. I remember how happy Mommy was when my firstborn Baja was born and I became the father. I remember her joy when Yosef was born and he was given my father's name. I remember when Kobe was born and Mommy was trying to convince us that he was our chair. I remember moving Mommy out of 75 and having her downsized to 1-bedroom apartment. I remember the challenge of convincing her to relocate near us in Florida so we could get to know her and develop the relationship and memories with her. I remember how steadfast she was not wanting to spend too many days or weekends in our house because her friends told her that it wasn't healthy or right for our family life. I remember that she was setting me in and advancing. Every time I would come to see her, in her mind was either Shabbos, Yom Tov, or Erev Shabbos, or Erev Yom Tov. I remember visiting her twice daily in the nursing home, and every time I came up, she was happy, surprised, and wondered how I found her. I remember how the last couple of weeks the conversation started and ended with a plethora of brachas for me and the entire family, and every bracha said, ended with, and Shalom al Yisrael. I remember thinking that 61 years went by way too quickly. And I will always remember. I remember asking everyone else to keep the speeches short. So look at this. We have he deserves a special call out for doing all the thankless jobs and lifting that make the rest of us look a lot better than we really are. Myself and the entire family, I want you to know how much you were loved and treasured, and how much we will miss you for the rest of our lives. I also want to ask you to forgive me for any and all of my behavior that didn't show you the proper respect and love, as well as for anyone who hasn't as yet or won't have the opportunity. One more piece. I'm here to put unfinished business. On the Wednesday before Daddy died, my car broke down, so I couldn't go to work in the Bronx in the morning, so I went to visit Daddy at the hospital instead. He had a friend there, and he politely asked to excuse himself, and he spoke to me very earnestly for a while. He apparently already knew what the rest of us were talking about that Friday night when he passed. Upon ending our conversation, he left me with 3 missions. Number 1, unclog the sink in the upstairs bathroom. Check. Number 2, change the tire on a Chevy Impala because the tire was bald and not safe. Check. And number 3, take care of Mommy. For the last 25 years, I tried my best. I'm done now. Daddy, it's now your job to pick up. And I have no doubt that you will do it the only way you know how, perfectly. Sir Idol, Vastavik Srivakaya. Libby, Super Libby, Sonia. Enough shit. Surat,
We now call upon David.
Mother, the higher rest of its speed, had a difficult life in her early years. She came from a large family that was taken from her in the blink of an eye during the beginning of the Shoah. She saw horror and atrocities that one should never have to experience. It's not surprising, therefore, that having a family and maintaining the family were driving forces in her life. How much pleasure and happiness she had when the family was together on so many occasions, Pesach, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, where we all sat together, her children and her grandchildren. As mentioned before, she also enjoyed having guests over, always ready to find them a delicious homemade meal. She was serious in making sure that the 3 of us had a Jewish education. The devotion to Yiddishkeit remained with her throughout her life. After the 3 of us have left home, we all made sure that we were in contact with her via telephone call at least once a day. During my Friday calls with her first question to me was, what time is Shabbos candlelight? What time is Havdalah? Many times I would review with her what davening has to be made on Shabbos. I always ask me, what's special about this Shabbos? Page by page, I would have my art scroll sitter in front of me, and she would have a copy of the same sitter in front of her, and I would go through it with her page by page, and tell her what had to be said and what had to be skipped each Shabbos. For Birchas HaChodesh,
I will tell her the name of the upcoming month and the days of the week that the month will fall on. When Hallel was to be said, I'd review with her whether to say full Hallel or half Hallel. She'd take notes and review points that she needed clarified. My mother was a beautiful Yiddish mama. The song Yiddish mama greatly describes her and her character much better than I can. Please permit me, I'd like to go through some of the Yiddish verses, since Yiddish was our main language that we spoke at home. I'll try to translate as best I can. Livaya, Akasha Kreg, I want to ask you a question. Zukmir, there is Ken. Please tell me, whoever can, Velke Tyra Farmagin Ben Scott Alma. What special gift does God bless everyone with? Quite listeners for tiny girls, I can't buy it for money, just more unwissed. It is a free gift. And doch as men verleerter, das I betregen men vergiss. And when you leave her, and you lose her, how many tears we split. Slightly different kindness. You don't get a second chance. As helpless kind with divine oil. No matter how much crime you do not get a second chance. There is hot parloying, there by son, this is mine. Whoever lost a mother knows where I speak of. Aida Shemama, a skiptish professor Eicherveld. There's nothing better in the world. Aida Shemama, oi bitter than to tell. Aida Shemama, how bitter it is when she's not here. We shine and left in the house, than the mamas do. How nice and full of life the house is when she's here. Die het finster werd is when God named her of Olam Haba. How tearful and sad it is when Hashem takes her to the world to come. In Wasser and fire, wat sie gelachen for her kin. Through water and fire, she runs to protect her child. Wir halten ein Fieber. Das ist gewiss die größte Wut. Doesn't hold back, because that would be the greatest sin. Or if he's lippig, the Mariah is their names. How lucky and how rich is the man who has such a beautiful gift from God. Mar and Altis Shema, only an older Jewish mother. Whatever we are today, we owe to her. Mommy, I hope we were able to give you Nafis and Hana in your life. Please forgive us for anything that may have upset or hurt you. Mommy, it is time for you to go back to Hashem and join Daddy and your parents and your siblings. May it's Yosha for us and all of Klal Yisrael. We love you.
We now call upon Adina.
So many things come to mind when I think of my booby. I know we're going to keep it short and focused. So the child's memory, someone talked about already. Her great strength, her deep religious conviction, were all touched on. I wanted to focus a little bit. You've also mentioned her experience as a Holocaust survivor, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about how I perceive that and how I think she took it, where she took it to. It was always amazing to me how it's such a fundamental part of her identity. Obviously, it's a very formative experience and a traumatic one, but even to a very late age, it was just so much a part of who she was. I remember once one of my kids, I think, was reading the book A Little Princess by Frances Burnett, and it was lying around the house, and Bobby picked it up and read it. And her reaction wasn't, it's a nice book. She said, oh, that was me. I was the princess. I grew up, I had a family that loved me and cared about me, and we were well off, and then it all came away. At a much later point, I was visiting her a couple years ago, and I was talking to her when I was there, and she said to me, Adina, I'm not like everybody else. And I said, that's true, yeah? She said, Adina, I don't have any parents. And I'm thinking to myself, Booby, you're 93 years old. Nobody has parents when they're 93 years old. But for her, that was her identity. She was the one without parents, and it didn't matter if she was 20 or 40 or 93. That was still how she saw herself, and it affected her until the very end of her life. And what amazed me, a lot of things are amazing about this. First of all, the fact that anyone can go through the horrors that she did and lose her family and go through the camps and come out a sane person is already unbelievable to me and mind-boggling. The fact that she could come out and then have a functioning home and family and establish financial security and stability and send her kids to yeshiva and stay religious, deeply religious, and have a good relationship with her grandchildren and great-grandchildren was also, to me, an incredible thing. And it didn't stop there. It also amazed me how she took this experience, instead of letting it traumatize her and kind of silence her and say, okay, I did my thing, I'm done, and be depressed or post-traumatic stress disorder forever, she was able to somehow relate her experience to the world, to history. A few things came up that really drove that home for me. One is obviously, I once saw her writing steps to tzedakah. She said, of course, I'm donating to the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society because I was an immigrant and people took care of me. And I want to make sure I take care of other people who come. Another thing that I remember, my husband and I went on a 10th anniversary trip to Spain. And I told her, Booby, we're going to Spain to celebrate our 10th anniversary. And she said to me, Adina, how can you go to Spain? Don't you know what they did to the Jews in Spain? And I was thinking, Booby, that was 500 years ago. Like, I'm not allowed to go to Spain now? But for her, it wasn't 500 years ago. She, it sounded almost like I would say I would go to Germany, which I would never do. But for her, she identified throughout history, historically, with all these people who went through similar terrible, terrible experiences and were persecuted. Another thing that came up later, in 2014, I was talking to her on the phone, and she said to me, Gina, if you hear what happened to those girls in Nigeria? And I'm like, Booby wasn't like the most, cultural, multicultural person. But to her, there were school children that were kidnapped in Nigeria by terrorists. And I'm sure she's never been to Nigeria and probably didn't know so much about Nigeria. But for her, that's just like her. People took her when she was in school and did terrible things, and she had that empathy that crossed religious boundaries and cultural boundaries and race boundaries, and it was just like her, and she couldn't contain herself and understand how this could happen. And she extended that empathy, again, in a historical perspective over the years, and also in a multicultural perspective over different populations. It was just amazing to me that she was able to take this, again, potentially debilitating experience that could completely shut her down, and instead turn it into a source of strength and giving and empathy to be transferred to other people in need. Now, also, I'm sure there are many times in her life, during the war and right afterwards, where people would look, she would look at herself, people would look at her and think there's no future for this woman, She'll be lucky if she survives, let alone anything past that. It reminded me, and I was thinking about this week's Parsha. We have another Sarah in the Parsha. And there's a story, it says, Vayomer Elohim el Abraham, Sarai ishtafa lo tzakar shema Sarai, Sarah Shema. Sarah becomes renamed from Sarai to Sarah, like my grandmother was Sarah. וברכתי אותה וגם נתתי ממנה לך בן וברכתיה והייתה לגויים מלכי עמים ממנה יהיו. I'm going to bless Sarah, she's going to have a son, and we're going to have kings be descended from her. What was Abraham's reaction? It wasn't like, that's great news, God, thanks so much. He said, "Vayikol Abraham al panav vayitzchak." Seriously? Come on, this lady is 90 plus years old, nothing's happening. And it just obviously is not a direct parallel, but it reminded me of our Sarah, my grandmother Bubi, who it would have been very easy to laugh if someone would have told her that 70 years later she's going to have friends and family and grandchildren and great-grandchildren who are all here for her and honoring her and commemorating her life and her achievements. I'll be lucky if I live till tomorrow. Like, don't start telling me myself about what's going to happen in 70 years. And behold, here we are. I think she's leaving this wonderful, rich, meaningful legacy, as we've all been hearing and discussing and experiencing. And yes, Bubi, you had your sons and your daughter, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and maybe it would have been a joke 70 years ago, but now this is what you did. This is what you made us into. And we're so appreciative to have known you for so long and to have the fortune to be able to be here and give you respect and honor at this last moment. One more thought I wanted to mention that wasn't so much focused on yet is Bubi's great love of Israel. Probably as a result of her being a survivor and her national identity and her religious identity. She was always so much a Zionist in terms of loving Israel. She and Zaidi went very early to go and tour the country, and they took films. I remember watching the old film reel, her video, and her trip. She used to come visit us, and we moved, my husband and I made Aliyah, and even when she wasn't so young anymore, see us, she was always excited to go and go to Yad Vashem and go to the Kotel. It was very, very meaningful to her in her experience. She loved the country, hitchhiked, I want to go to Gush Etzion, no problem. A lot of other younger people were a little bit hesitant to transfer the West Bank, and Bubi had no fear. Of course she was going to do that. And then people used to ask her, Bubi, I'm going to Israel, or I'm coming to visit you from Israel. What can I bring you? And Bubi always had one thing she wanted. She said, I want you to bring me stones from Israel. I want to take the stones from Israel, and I want to put them in Zaidi's grave. It always reminded me of the pasuk in Tehillim. It says, "Kivatzu avadecha et avaneha ve'et afareha yichonenu." That are God's servants, the Jewish people, they love the stones of Israel. They love its dirt. That's what they want. And it always makes when Mommy was just telling me, and she was cleaning out Bubi's house in Passaic and downsizing, as Uncle Harry mentioned, to a smaller apartment, they found bags of stones. Because that was her treasure. She wanted the stones from Israel to bring to Zaidi's grave. So on my way out the door to the plane, Bubi, I took some stones from my yard and I put them in my suitcase. And now, Bubi, it's your turn. We're going to put the stones from Israel on your grave. We love you. We remember you. We'll always be inspired by you. And feel very glad we got to know you and be a part of your family.
We now call upon Moshe.
I always wondered why Holocaust survivors are called survivors. Survivors is such a passive word, such an empty word. Instead of survivors, they should be called heroes or warriors. As those who survived did so by fighting for their life at every point of the process. And there are many like you and Zaidi who not only fought for their life, but fought to help others and their lives, and took action to help resist the horrible things that were being done. Bubi, you are definitely not a survivor. You were definitely a fighter, a warrior, and a hero. You did everything you could at every stage of your life to be active, to be the one who controlled what was going on in your life and in the life of those that you loved. You were not the one who was passive and just sat and let life control you. Your Holocaust story is one filled with acts of heroism and bravery, from stealing ammunition to smuggling food and alcohol during the war, watches after the war, and many acts of kindness that you did to help others, and your choice to stick with the Jewish people, even when you were offered a get out of hell free card. Your life as a parent continued to fight, fighting for a better place to live where you felt the rent was being raised unwarranted, fighting for what was best for your kids, making a quarter, add a nickel to pay the bills, and
working in a position where you need to provide phone